Alright lads, we're doing something a little different today. We're predicting the Premier League 23-24 table. Now, I usually don't do this. I usually do FIFA career mode content. Did a little bit of MLB The Show when I was hot in the baseball fever at the beginning of the spring. But now the Premier League season is back. We're 2 weeks in. And I made some predictions just before the season started. And I figured, why not share it with you lovely subscribers of this channel? So you can take shots at my opinions, good and bad, hopefully. So let's get right into it with my club. Let's start with my favorite club, Liverpool Football Club. I think they're going to be back in the Champions League, top 4 this year. Whether they're 3 or 4, I have them 3rd in my prediction table, but honestly, most people have them 5th or lower, even though they have a great chance of bouncing back this season, and I completely understand it. The midfield depth, the defensive depth, it's not great. But the starters at Liverpool are still some of the best in the world. Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk are 2 of the best players at their position in the entire world still. And Liverpool's attacking depth is better than any team in the Premier League, maybe other than Manchester City. I'd still take the likes of Salah, Darwin Nunez, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, Diogo Jota, who are all starters on any team in the league to keep this team in the race. And then hopefully we get lucky. If Thiago Alcantara can stay healthy, watch out, they could contend for the title yet again. And yes, I'm a little bit biased, but what club supporter wouldn't be? Let's be real. I wouldn't want it any other way. I'd rather be all in on my own team. That's how it's supposed to be. Now let's start from the bottom and go to the top now that you know where I have my beloved Reds. I feel like the absolute bottom this year is going to be the Blades, Sheffield United. They have not made enough signings that are Premier League talent. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Ryan Brewster. Benny's not bad, and I guess Ollie McBurney is going to play. I don't know if he's injured or not, but those are not strikers that are going to keep you up. Same thing with a club in the city of Liverpool, along with Liverpool Football Club. I think they're going down this year. Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't stay healthy, and if he's not playing, it doesn't look like Neil Maupay is the answer. They've never been able to address their attacking options in a way that they should. This is a club that deserves much more. They've got a brand new stadium coming in. They have excellent fans, and they really do have a pretty rich history. Their ownership is absolutely letting them down. And then the third team I have going down, I actually didn't have this in my predictions, but unfortunately, I'm putting Luton Town down. I think they're either going to be that 17th team or they're going to be 18th. And in this prediction I'm doing live here, I'm thinking Luton Town are going down. And of course, they are the people's club. They are the club that's gone from non-league all the way to the Premier League. Who would want to see Luton Town go down? And again, this is a prediction. My heart wants Luton Town to stay up. And I do believe that it's possible if they make Kenilworth Road just really difficult for these big clubs to come in and play at. But in terms of absolute quality, but I just think they barely miss out. And the team that barely edges them out, and the reason is I'm putting Wolves here, is that they've kept a good number of their first team players and still have a lot of Premier League experience. I think that Premier League experience, Matheus Cunha is a decent striker. If he gets in form, they can definitely win some games, even though they are definitely one of the worst teams in the Premier League. It's already showed. I think they're probably going to go down, but if you look at these 3 other teams, in terms of my predicting abilities here, I'm putting them just out of that relegation spot. Also, in this barely avoiding relegation territory, I have a club that I've actually visited in person in London and have absolutely adored. A club that's embraced American spirit as well, with players such as Clint Dempsey, Anthony Robinson, and Tim Ream. Fulham, who I feel like are absolutely going to miss Alexander Mitrovic. Hopefully Raul Jimenez picks up some form that he did way back when at Wolves, but his injury history is probably going to cost them as well. I just don't see them scoring as many goals as a lot of other teams in the Premier League that have gotten significantly better. Another team I have in this area, similar story, are Bournemouth. They have Premier League experience a little bit now, and they actually looked pretty fiery at the beginning of the game against Liverpool. Semenyo looks really like a bit of a baller there. They could have a great talent on their hands. They do have a good amount of young players, but it just seems like Bournemouth never get the defense or goalkeeper right. It seems like they're always under pressure, and against big teams, I don't see them getting any big results, so they're not going to be any higher than lower mid-table here. And then I've got Crystal Palace, who, you know I love Liverpool, but what you don't know is that I also love Crystal Palace. If I wasn't a Liverpool supporter, I would support the Eagles. I say that they're my London club to myself. I love the red, white, and blue colors. It has an American feel to it. They have cheerleaders. That's another reason why I love them. And they play at Selhurst Park, one of the loudest atmospheres in all of England. I don't think they're going to be incredible this year, but they do a very good job of just figuring it out and staying in that mid-table. And then just ahead of them, I have the newly promoted Burnley. There they are. Vincent Kompany's team, they're going to be a bit better than people think. Turf Moor is a tough place to play, and they've always given it 100% and make it really hard to win there. So there's your lower mid-table. And then we move to the higher mid-table, and I've got the Forest, Nottingham Forest, European champions formerly, and Taiwo Inii is already off to a hot start as he ended last season here in this season, and I think that's going to continue. I think Chris Wood coming off the bench is an excellent goal scorer as well, and I kind of like Steve Cooper as a coach. He showed some life in this team last year. I was impressed that they stayed up when I didn't think they were going to last year, so I think they build on that this year and finish in the higher mid-table, probably in that 12th spot. And then you've got West Ham United of East London. That's the one stadium I've actually seen a match at when I visited London last summer. I got to see them open up the season against Man City and Erling Haaland score his first 2 goals for Manchester City, and it was a very amazing atmosphere. Blowing bubbles was really cool, but yeah, that's just a mid-table club. It always has been. I feel like it always will be. I will say, James Ward-Prowse, one of the most underrated signings of the summer 2023 window. He is going to be an amazing creator and help them score some goals this season for sure. And then we've got the Bees from West London, Brentford. Brian Mbeumo is also a leader and an accomplished winger in the Premier League now. They knocked off some big teams last year, and I think they're going to continue to do so. Still higher mid-table, not in that Conference League territory yet. That's a real quality club with a real quality manager. And then I've got Aston Villa, and this is a tough one for me because I really do think that Aston Villa are a great club, a really, really good summer for Aston Villa, probably one of the best in the Premier League in terms of signing players. I think they brought in the right guys, and I think guys like Leon Bailey that they've already had are going to get even better. You've already seen him play well so far this season. I just don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with the big clubs that have been spending a ton of money here that we have left at the bottom of the table here. And yes, I say big clubs, and you see Brighton there. They're coming, but not yet. So these next 3 clubs are tough for me. I'm actually going to put Brighton in the 5th spot because I believe in Roberto De Zerbi. Julio Enciso is a bright shining star that's already coming out this season. You've seen how they've played in their first 2 games. Yes, they haven't beaten some quality competition, but De Zerbi ball is real, and Brighton play it well. Matoma is amazing. João Pedro's a budding superstar. Goal scoring is a big theme in this year. Liverpool's got it. Brighton's got it. Spurs are showing they've got it so far, but you know who's not showing it? It's Chelsea. They did not score a lot of goals last season. You look at the table here from last season, Liverpool finished in 5th. Yes, disappointing, but they scored 75 goals. Pretty much everybody outscored Chelsea last year, so I have them in the Europa Conference League. They have signed every player under the sun that has a high potential on SoFIFA, but I don't think that's how you play football, and clearly it's making a difference so far. Christopher Nkunku going down early in the season does make a big difference because he is an amazing and crucial player to them, but they're relying on a lot of players who don't have experience in the Premier League to all of a sudden act like they've been there before, and I just don't think they have that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't actually hate Chelsea as a club. I just hate the way that they've operated their business this summer and recently. It's like they've hit the panic button and have just said throw all the cash instead of actually caring about who they get. Maybe they'll be great, but honestly, with the amount of money they spend, they should expect to be competing for 1st or 2nd this season. And then we move towards the top of the table. Actually, I just realized Chelsea's going to miss out on the Conference League. They're going to be in this 8 to 12 range, and Spurs are going to be in the Europa Conference League spot that I've put here. Now, between Spurs, Chelsea, and Man United, I could rotate these 3 clubs. I think they're all not quite there yet, but I'm putting Spurs in 7th, and I'm putting Manchester United in the Europa League. Unfortunately, even though I hate Manchester United as a Liverpool club supporter, they're just an incredibly arrogant fan base that hasn't been successful in a long time, kind of like the Yankees, yet they still feel like they are owed something, some sort of credit for what they do, and yes, they finished 3rd last season, but they won the Carabao Cup, which really was a very unimpressive run in terms of who they beat, and I really don't understand that style of play that Erik ten Hag plays with. However, I feel like Rasmus Højlund is a great signing for them. Bruno Fernandes is an amazing player, but he's just way too whiny to be somebody's captain. It's an absolutely atrocious decision to make him the captain of the club instead of a player like Marcus Rashford, but because of a player like Marcus Rashford, who I do love and feel like is an incredible talent, I think they're going to edge out a team like Spurs, like Chelsea, even though Spurs literally literally just kicked the crap out of Man United in the second week of the season. Postecoglou ball may be real. They actually looked incredible at times. I gotta see that happen for the whole season to really believe in it, and I hope I do, because I actually love Spurs compared to Man United, compared to Chelsea. But this is just my predictions based on squad. Andre Onana is also an amazing goalkeeper, so I feel like that's going to help them stay in this range here. And then you already see I put Liverpool in a Champions League spot. Let's just get this one underway with Arsenal. I could go third or fourth with either of these teams. I don't think either of these teams are going to be in the race for the title this season as much as Arsenal were last year and Liverpool have been in past seasons recently. I feel like Arsenal way overperformed last year ahead of their development schedule, and Mikel Arteta is getting way too cocky way too soon. They haven't even won anything yet, but Arsenal are legit. They are a very legit team with some incredible talent. Signing Kai Havertz was a brilliant piece of business. I think he is going to do well for Arsenal, but I don't think they're going to push for the title as much as a team like Manchester City or Newcastle, and I am going to put Newcastle in a Champions League spot, finishing a second, just behind, yet again, the champions Manchester City. Unfortunately, but Pep Guardiola is still the manager. Kevin De Bruyne is out for a while, yes, but Phil Foden still plays for the club, as does Erling Haaland, and that's all I need to see. The fact that they went and signed Josko Gvardiol for depth is all I needed to see from Manchester City. That is a league-winning team in terms of depth and talent and management. They're still better than us. They're still better than all of us. And if they don't win the league, we'd all be surprised. So I'd rather be right than sorry. And the last team I'll talk about is Newcastle United. I just love this squad. I think Eddie Howe was the perfect hire for them. And I think they have the best midfield in the Premier League other than Manchester City. Alexander Isak is also going to be a superstar someday. He has all the traits you need. He's an incredible dribbler. We already know he can finish. And a great piece of business with Harvey Barnes alongside Isak and that Newcastle team. And I think they're the complete package. More complete than Arsenal. I feel like Bukayo Saka's a superstar, yes. But I feel like Arsenal are missing the absolute talisman striker. I feel like they're going to miss scoring goals in big games sometimes. And that's what's going to hurt them over Newcastle. But then again, disclaimer, I could be completely wrong on every single one of these picks, and I probably will be because these are predictions, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I know you're gonna disagree with me, but how much? What do you think I'm wrong about? What are you looking forward to most this season? That's the most important thing here. Are we gonna have fun watching this Premier League season? I don't really give a shit if I'm right or wrong. I'm just ready to have some fun watching these matches. Liverpool, Newcastle coming up this weekend. I have no idea what's going to happen. Newcastle might kick our ass, and I don't really care. It's early in the season. I'm just looking to see what my squad has up their sleeves. So up the damn mighty Reds this season. Wataru Endo's going to take them to glory, hopefully. And if not, I've got a bottle of wine with my name on it. So until my next FIFA Career Mode episode, which will come out very soon, this has been Therios. You'll never walk alone.